Okay, so the value proposition that we have, when we looked at it, if we took this whole region of 100,000 hectares and we converted it to dairy, it would be $1 billion industry. It would increase the milk production for the Netherlands by an extra 2 billion litres of liquid milk, and currently they produce 10 billion litres. So that's what the opportunity is. It would, though, cost about $3 to $4 billion if everywhere was to move across. So this is a big project and worthy of definitely some subsidies. So in order to get there, though, the value proposition is, and it was a beautiful segue from Emma, is to connect the dots. So firstly, there isn't the cash or the money to make that transition. So the first thing is about looking after our soils, which is all down here, within some of the context, but starting to grow valuable feeds to put into the other dairy industry which exists across the country. So that's the first step, and then with that, then people can transition more into dairy over time.
So the option then is to convert the existing potato growing land to grass, to give it a rest, to increase the health of the soil and also minimise some of the pathogenics that are happening in the soil, but also to look at the genomics of the existing starch crops to increase the efficiency that's going through the co-ops, as there is still going to be a starch industry. And with the extra grass and with some of the things that's happening in the Netherlands region, sell it back to the farmers because they're going to have to put their cows on the paddocks, which means they're not going to get their silage rotations. But there's also an export market for other countries needing imported feed, and the logistics from the Netherlands to those export markets is far closer than the regions currently supplying those markets. So we basically looked at inventing a new industry for the region, which gives the soil a rest and also gives longer crop rotations for the existing starch.
So we're starting to probably get a little bit of overlap with the advice now, but it's not a bad thing. But for industry, there's three things we were recommending. One was to redevelop the co-op model and make it a bit more flexible and take some control and not be so locked into how it seems to be at the moment. Another one was to do the longer rotations to improve soil health. And the third one was to extract protein from the starch potato and use it for dairy farming, of course. Under the farmer area, we thought maybe the co-op could help link investors to farmers. So the people that were looking to go into dairy farming, they're going to need a lot of capital. And to retain that co-op model and use that co-op model to provide the linkage there. And also maybe to use the co-op, so farmers that instead of having a wholesale change out of starch potatoes, maybe the co-op could facilitate a reduction in the starch potato area by allowing people to reduce their crop intake, and maybe by 20%, and take another crop as a substitute. And the last thing, policy. So policy, we thought to remove subsidies, of course. Go to the market-based return system, and to compensate for that, maybe more efficient use of tax system to provide incentives for investment. Promote sustainable feed production. If you've got 100,000 hectares, you can set up farms where they're more self-sustaining and sourcing their feed than the other areas of the Netherlands. And provide an opportunity for knowledge transfer. If you're going to have a lot of people changing their land use, you're going to need a huge amount of education.
Very good. That's us. And just to summarise, one of the questions that we had in our group was, what is the ultimate burning platform to cause change for this region? So what is the stimulus for change? And the question was, is it the soil health and the diseases that are going on that we've seen here, say, on the farm? Is it the removal of the subsidies that, when we've heard, they're going to drop 500, 400 euros a hectare? Or is it the perceived inefficiency of the co-op? But whatever it is, whatever that precipitator for change is, it needs to allow for the industry to actually make a move. Because in the discussion, it didn't really seem to be enough of a burning platform for people to move away from what they're doing.
Thank you very much.